Amelia, quick question. Are you ready for today's episode?
Haha, I was born ready. This topic makes me excited.
That sounds serious. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Learning English Studio.
Hi everyone, I'm Amelia.
And I'm James.
Today's topic is simple but very powerful for your English.
Yes, but before we start, please subscribe, like, and share this podcast.
It really helps us keep making content for you.
Okay, Amelia, shall we start?
Yes, let's go. Today we're going to talk about something that's so important to all of us, family, and more importantly, how to talk about your family in English. This is such a fundamental topic that you'll use in so many conversations.
Absolutely. Think about how often someone asks, "Do you have any brothers or sisters?" or "Tell me about your family." Being able to answer confidently is such an important skill for English learners.
That's so true. And the great thing about this topic is that it's so personal and universal. Everyone has a family, even if it's a small one or a chosen one. It's a wonderful way to share who you are and connect with others.
Exactly. And today we'll cover all the essential vocabulary and phrases you need to talk about your family confidently. We'll include lots of examples and practice opportunities.
Perfect. So let's start with the basics. What are some common family words that our listeners should know?
Good question. The most basic family words are mother, father, parents, brother, sister, son, daughter, and children.
Those are perfect. And we also have grandmother, grandfather, grandparents, grandson, granddaughter, and grandchildren.
Exactly. And then there are extended family words like uncle, which is your mother's or father's brother, aunt, which is your mother's or father's sister, and cousin, which is your uncle's or aunt's child.
Those are so important. And we also have husband or wife if you're married, boyfriend or girlfriend if you're in a relationship, and partner as a more general term.
That's so true. And I think it's helpful to know that in English, we often use informal terms for family members too, like mom and dad instead of mother and father, or grandma and grandpa instead of grandmother and grandfather.
That's such an important point. In casual conversation, people almost always use the informal terms. You'd rarely hear someone say, "I'm going to visit my mother this weekend." They'd say, "I'm going to visit my mom."
Exactly. And it's also helpful to know that we can say my mom or my dad, but we usually say my parents, not my parent unless you only have one parent.
That's so true. Let's practice with some examples. James, can you tell us about your family using these basic words?
Sure. I have a small family. My mom and dad live in the same city as me. I have one older sister. She is married and has two children, a boy and a girl. So I have one nephew and one niece. My grandparents live in another city, so I don't see them very often.
That's a great example. You used so many important family words: mom, dad, sister, married, children, nephew, niece, and grandparents.
Thanks. What about you, Amelia? Can you tell us about your family?
Of course. I come from a big family. I have two older brothers and one younger sister. Both of my brothers are married. My older brother has 3 children, so I have 3 nephews. My younger brother doesn't have children yet. My sister is still single like me. My grandparents passed away, but I have many aunts and uncles and cousins.
Wow, that really is a big family. You used great vocabulary. Brothers, sister, married, children, nephews, single, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins.
Thank you. I think it's helpful to practice describing your family using these basic words before moving on to more complex sentences.
Exactly. Let's think about some common questions you might ask or answer about family.
Good idea. Besides, "Tell me about your family," you could ask, "Do you have any brothers or sisters? Are you the oldest, the youngest, in the middle? Do you have a big family or small family? Or do you live with your family?"
Those are perfect. And you could ask more specific questions like, what does your father do? How old is your sister? Or do you look like your mother or your father?
Those are great examples, and I think it's helpful to know how to respond when someone tells you about their family. You could say, "That's nice," or "Oh, a big family," or "Do you get along well with your siblings?"
Absolutely. Conversation is a two-way street, and showing interest in what others share is just as important as sharing about yourself.
That's so true. Let's think about some common mistakes that learners make when talking about their family. That could be really helpful for our listeners.
Good question. I think one common mistake is using the wrong possessive adjectives like I am with me family instead of I am with my family.
That's such a common mistake. Another one is using singular and plural incorrectly, like saying, my brother like pizza, instead of my brother likes pizza.
Oh, that's a big one. And another mistake is using the wrong gender pronouns, like saying my father is tall, he likes to read, she is very kind, using she instead of he for the father.
That's so true. Gender pronouns can be tricky, especially for learners whose native language doesn't use them in the same way.
Exactly. And I think another common mistake is using the wrong preposition with family members, like saying I am good in English instead of I am good at English, or I listen my parents instead of I listen to my parents.
Those are perfect examples, and I think it's important to mention that it's okay to keep things simple when you're starting out. You don't need to use complex sentences or advanced vocabulary to communicate effectively about your family.
Absolutely. Language learning is a journey, and every step forward is progress. Even being able to say, I have a mother, I have a father, I have one brother is a great achievement for a beginner.
That's so true. And as you become more confident, you can gradually add more detail and complexity to your descriptions. It's all about building on what you already know.
Exactly. Let's think about some different ways to describe family relationships and characteristics.
Good idea. We could talk about age using words like older, younger, the oldest, the youngest, middle child, only child, twin, etc.
That's a great category, and we could describe appearance using words like tall, short, young, old, has brown hair, wears glasses, looks like, etc.
Those are perfect. And we could also describe personality using words like kind, funny, strict, patient, outgoing, shy, smart, etc.
Exactly. And there are also words to describe relationships like close, distant, get along well, argue sometimes, look up to, take after, etc.
That's so true. Let's practice with some examples. James, can you describe your sister using some of these words?
Sure. My sister is 3 years older than me. She has long brown hair and green eyes. She is very kind and patient. She works as a teacher, so she is very good with children. We are very close. We talk on the phone every week. People say we look alike, especially our smiles.
That's such a nice description. You used great vocabulary. Older, long brown hair, green eyes, kind, patient, teacher, close, talk, look alike, and smiles.
Thanks. What about you, Amelia? Can you describe one of your brothers?
Of course. My oldest brother is very tall. He's the tallest person in our family. He has short black hair and wears glasses. He's very smart and works as an engineer. He's also very funny and always makes us laugh. I look up to him because he's very successful in his career. We don't see each other very often because he lives far away, but we're still close.
That's a lovely description. You used great vocabulary. Oldest, tall, the tallest, short black hair, wears glasses, smart, engineer, funny, makes us laugh, look up to, successful, close, and far away.
Thank you. I think it's helpful to practice describing family members using these descriptive words. It makes your conversation more interesting and personal.
Exactly. Let's think about some common activities we do with family members.
Good idea. We could talk about daily activities like eat dinner together, watch TV together, help with homework together, clean the house together.
That's a great category. And we could talk about special occasions like celebrate birthdays, have holiday dinners, go on vacation together, visit relatives.
Those are perfect. And we could also talk about communication like call every week, send text messages, video chat, write emails, share photos, etc.
Exactly. And there are also ways to talk about helping each other, like help with homework, take care of sick family members, give advice, lend money, babysit, etc.
That's so true. Let's practice with some examples. James, what activities do you do with your family?
Well, I live alone, but I visit my parents every Sunday. We usually have dinner together and watch a movie. Sometimes my sister and her family come too, and then it's very noisy and fun. I call my mom every other day to see how she is. For holidays like Christmas, we all get together at my parents' house.
That sounds lovely. You used great expressions. Live alone, visit, have dinner, watch a movie, noisy and fun, call, holidays, get together, and house.
Thanks. What about you, Amelia? What do you do with your family?
Well, I live with my younger sister, so we see each other every day. We often cook dinner together and talk about our day. On weekends, I sometimes visit my older brother and his family. His children are very energetic, so we play games in the park. All of my brothers and sister and I try to have dinner together once a month at a restaurant. For special occasions like birthdays, we usually have a big party at home.
That sounds like a lot of fun. You used great expressions: live with, see each other, cook dinner, talk about, visit, energetic, play games, once a month, restaurant, special occasions, birthdays, and party.
Thank you. I think it's helpful to practice talking about family activities because it's such a common topic of conversation.
Exactly. Let's think about some different family situations and how to talk about them.
Good idea. We could talk about living arrangements using words like live with parents, live alone, have a roommate, live in a dorm, live with a partner, etc.
That's a great category. And we could talk about family size using words like small family, big family, only child, large extended family, close-knit family, etc.
Those are perfect. And we could also talk about different family structures using words like single-parent family, blended family, multi-generational household, adopted family, etc.
Exactly. And there are also ways to talk about family history and background, like my family comes from, my grandparents immigrated to, we have lived in this city for generations, etc.
That's so true. Let's practice with some examples. James, can you tell us about your living situation?
Sure. I live alone in a small apartment in the city center. My parents live about 30 minutes away by bus. My sister lives in the suburbs with her husband and children. We all grew up in this city, so my family has been here for a long time. My grandparents moved here from another country when they were young, so I have a mixed cultural background.
That's interesting. You used great expressions. Live alone, apartment, city center, parents, suburbs, husband, children, grew up, city, long time, grandparents, moved, country, young, and mixed cultural background.
Thanks. What about you, Amelia? Can you tell us about your living situation?
Of course. I live with my younger sister in a small house near the university. My parents live about an hour away, so I don't see them as often as I'd like. My oldest brother lives in another state for his job, and my other brother lives in the same city as our parents. Our family originally comes from a small town, but we all moved to the big city for better opportunities.
That's a common story. You used great expressions: live with, younger sister, house, university, parents, hour away, oldest brother, state, job, same city, originally comes from, small town, moved, big city, and opportunities.
Thank you. I think it's helpful to practice talking about different family situations because families come in all shapes and sizes.
Exactly. Let's think about some more advanced vocabulary and expressions for talking about family.
Good idea. We could talk about family relationships using expressions like take after, resemble a family member, look up to, admire and respect, get along with, have a good relationship, see eye to eye, agree, etc.
Those are perfect. And we could use idioms like blood is thicker than water, family relationships are stronger than other relationships, or the black sheep of the family, the odd one out in a family, or like father like son, sons are similar to their fathers.
Those are great idioms. And we could also use expressions like family gathering, family reunion, family tree, family values, family tradition, etc.
Exactly. And there are also ways to talk about family roles and responsibilities, like the breadwinner, the person who earns the money, the homemaker, the person who takes care of the home, the peacemaker, the person who helps resolve conflicts, etc.
That's so true. Let's think about some cultural differences in family structures and relationships. That could be really interesting for our listeners.
Oh, definitely. In some cultures, it's common for multiple generations to live together in the same house, while in others, children are expected to move out when they become adults.
That's so true. And the role of elders in the family can vary greatly between cultures. In some, elders are highly respected and make important decisions for the family, while in others, they might be more independent.
Exactly. And I think it's great for learners to be able to talk about their own cultural family practices in English. It's a wonderful way to share and learn about different ways of life.
Absolutely. And it's also interesting to think about how family structures and relationships have changed over time. Our grandparents probably had very different family experiences from us, don't you think?
Oh, definitely. Families used to be larger, with more children, divorce was less common and more stigmatized, and gender roles within the family were much more rigid.
That's so true. It really makes you appreciate how much things have changed, and I wonder what family structures will be like in the future.
That's a fascinating thought. Maybe families will become more diverse in accepting of different structures, or maybe there will be a return to more traditional family values. It's hard to say.
That's so interesting to think about, and it just goes to show that language needs to be flexible and adaptable to describe new experiences and family structures.
Exactly. Language is always evolving, just like our families. And as English learners, you're part of that evolution, bringing your own experiences and perspectives to the language.
That's such a beautiful way to put it. Every learner adds something unique to the English language, and that's what makes it so rich and diverse.
Absolutely. In talking about family is such a practical and useful skill in English.
Absolutely. And it's a great way to share who you are and connect with others. Everyone has a family, so it's a topic that connects us all.
Exactly. So keep practicing, keep learning, and don't be afraid to share about your family with others in English.
That's perfect advice. Well, that's all we have time for today. Thank you for joining us on Learning English Studio.
Yes, thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into talking about your family in English. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our podcast if you found it helpful.
We'll be back next week with another useful topic for English learners. Until then, keep practicing and enjoy time with your family.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye!